Hi, I'm Anna Olsen. I'm your host tonight on this segment on A1R Radio tonight. Insights into Consciousness with Anna Olsen. I'm going to just go into some readings. First thing tonight, I just wanted to drop a couple of lines about some things that have been interesting to me lately, and that is just that we're having published works of and writings of these books that have pretty much told the world that in 2020 that the COVID was going to come in. They didn't say COVID specifically, but they did say a virus that's similar to pneumonia, and we've had these pictures passed around. So, I really like that in this day and age, we have social media where people can really share what they see as interesting rather than leaving it all up to CNN, Fox News, NBC. As great as it is to get, news from all sources, I really like that people can just take a picture of a book they have and post it everywhere, and it can be spread around the world 3 times around. So that's been happening, and I'm really excited about that. And I really love that, these psychics, whatever you want to call them, intuitives, people who have a good message from spirit are being able to spread the message that people need to know. These are the important things, the spiritual things that everybody else seems to leave out. So, I'm just really happy about that. So we have known, a lot of people have known that this was going to come for a long time. There are people who have been preparing because they listened to intuitives. They listened to psychics. They knew that in 2020, we were going to have a pandemic, that we were going to need, to stock up on things that we need, that we were going to, a lot of people bought seeds and all sorts of really great things that will help prepare them. I don't know if they stocked up on toilet paper. We'll see. But, by any means, I'm just really happy that people can be prepared that way, and that intuitives and readers are getting the credit they deserve. And I just read in an article online that, from a very reputable source, a reputable big newspaper, was it the New York Post? I'm not 100% on that source, but I know that it was about how mediums are the new life coaches, the new therapists. Now, of course, if you have a mental illness of some sort, or like a depression or anxiety or something like that, you do need your specialist that will help you with, the medical treatment on that. But really, mediums are coming out as the new big coaches. So, I'm really happy to see these things coming about, and that people are really adding spirituality to their treatment and to what they need. It's been a great, great experience for a lot of people. And I have noticed that there's a lot of healing that goes on when I do a medium reading for people. And they are grieving, and they've done all their work with their therapist, with their psychologist. They have worked with a psychiatrist or whatnot to get to where they need emotionally that way, and with their brain chemistry. And then they can come to me, and we can work together to really close some doors that are still open to them, that they're grieving with, and that they're really experiencing a lot of grief. So, it's been a great learning experience for me, and I'm happy that as a medium, I can really help them close those ties and speak to their loved ones and get the information that they need to really feel like now they can just complete that grieving process. So that's been something that I've been really happy about, happy to do with people. I love to go through this process with people. I know what grief is like. I have experienced it. And for those who are grieving, I just, want to send a message out there that things do get better, that grief is hard. It is very difficult, but it's one of the most immense learning experiences spiritually and mentally that we can experience in this life. And that it is a great experience to be able to go through the process, especially when you're really dealing with it. Now, I'd always warn people against any sort of trying to self-medicate when they're grieving. When I hear that somebody starts drinking, or they start trying to, medicate themselves in different ways that we know is going to exacerbate that depression issue. We know that alcohol is a depressant. We know that if somebody's depressed, they should not actually be drinking because that is a depressant. So, really, I feel like it's good for people to know there are other modalities. They don't have to talk a lot about it. They can sit down and say nothing, and we can do a reading. and that will help. So Carly in Vancouver, Washington, I have her on the line now, and I'd love to do a reading for Carol. Excuse me, Carol. Carol, are you on the line?
I am.
Hi, how are you tonight?
I'm fine. How about you?
Doing great.
Okay.
So, what would you like to focus on tonight? Is there a specific question?
A loved one that passed away.
Okay. So, when did they pass?
Pardon me?
When did they pass?
March 16th.
Okay, so this year, March 16th.
Uh-huh.
Well, that was pretty recent, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. So, the first thing, I'm getting a mail presence,
Yes.
and it's interesting because I feel like it's the interesting thing is that I feel like it's a son, but I'm not exactly sure on son.
Yeah, he's my grandson.
Okay. So did you raise him most of the time, or were you really close to him?
Yes, I partially raised him.
Okay. So that's why I'm getting son, but it wasn't all, that's where we're kind of getting that kind of hazy description of son. But the
Yeah.
first thing that I'm seeing is that he was working really hard when he passed on a lot of things that he'd been dealing with for a long time, and I see some heartbreak in his past. I'm wondering, did he suffer from depression, or it just seems like he was working so hard, and I'm getting that. Now, this is what's good about this transition into the spirit world for your grandson, is that I really do feel like it was the right timing, and that he did the work he needed to do before he passed. It may, anytime that we have somebody in our family who's younger than us pass, it feels very wrong. It feels unfair. It feels like it should not happen that way. But I do feel that he fulfilled his life contract.
Yeah. Yes.
And I'm seeing heartbreak. I'm seeing heartbreak before he passed.
Yes.
And so I'm wondering, did he see? I keep seeing like a substance in the body that affected his body. Maybe like like a what would be like considered maybe painkiller, opioid, something that would cause him to feel kind of sleepy, or yeah. And so was it an issue with the way that he was trying to deal with his depression or his heartbreak? Was he trying to self-medicate, or is it perhaps like an overdose?
No, it wasn't an overdose, but he was, drinking a lot and smoking pot, and he actually was murdered.
Okay. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yes.
Oh, so sorry for your loss. It seems like that's a very personal thing. So I did kind of get that may have happened, and I always let the person let me know. Now, did he have a relationship with somebody? Was he in a relationship when he passed?
He was in a relationship, yes.
Mm-hmm. I feel like that there's a lot of heartbreak there, but that there may be some things that that she may know about what happened. Was she there, or was she?
No, she wasn't there. They had called her, and she went there after he was pronounced dead.
Okay. because I feel her presence there, and I really feel like she's really suffering a lot over this, and that the connection with her. Are you close to her?
Yes.
Because I feel like that connection to her is going to help everybody grieve, that she can really be part
Uh-huh.
of the family and be almost like a new part of your family now, because she's going to really need a lot of the support. And then you guys, you and the family can really accept a lot of insight from her on the death, or before, he was, before he passed. So I do feel like his I see that his cup was full. So when I see that his cup is full, I'm seeing that he did everything actually that he needed to do before he died. So he had known, he knew his time was coming. I don't know if he had an idea that this person was wanting to harm him, or
Yeah.
if he had some kind of premonition, but I feel like he closed those doors that he may have had open, where we talk about feeling like, loose ends. He tied up those loose ends before he passed, because I feel like he knew he was going to pass. When people are nearing their contractual death date, they know it inside, they know it deep down.
Uh-huh.
And I
Yeah.
believe that he did some things before he died to close those things up. Are you aware of any of those things? Did he call you? Did you have conversations with him about this?
No, I wouldn't, but I'm sure his girlfriend would.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It may be helpful for you guys to ask her, because I feel like she's still in shock. She's not talking a lot about it right now, but when she's ready, the more that she can talk about it and start to
Uh-huh.
verbalize what she experienced before he passed, the more you can
Uh-huh.
learn from her and get more information about his readiness and some of the things, the way he was behaving beforehand. And I think that'll be very healing, because
Uh-huh.
um, he was aware, and I think it's very comforting for loved ones to know that
Uh-huh.
that these things sometimes are planned, and that there are times where they really are ready, and that you'll
Uh-huh.
see signs of them around. So did he have a tattoo?
He did,
I don't
yes.
know. Was it like a
Yes.
cross or something?
I don't know if he had a tattoo cross, but he had one with his little brother's name.
Okay. Because I'm seeing that something within the tattoo and the sign of the cross is going to be how he
Uh-huh.
communicates with you and your family. So when
Okay.
you see, either the cross, the sign of the cross, or the tattoo design that he had, that's going to be
Uh-huh.
you guys knowing that he's with you. Like, let's say at family events, or when you go out in nature, when you're thinking of him, these things, this is going to come
Uh-huh.
through, and he's going to be there with you, and that's how he's going to let you know
Okay.
he's around.
Yes.
You can look for that, and that's his sign to you
Yeah.
that he's with you. He's watching out for you guys still. You can talk to him anytime you want. Um,
Uh-huh.
and he is, what's really interesting is that I'm seeing him being a very powerful person.
Uh-huh. Yes.
It's like his heart is very powerful. Like, he would really give you wisdom if you were having a rough time. It's
Uh-huh.
almost like he usually didn't say a whole lot about it, but when you're having a rough time or something, he would have such amazing insight and power in his messages and the way that his intention would come through.
Yes. Can I ask you a question? Does he
Yes.
say anything about being with family members?
Really just that he's there with everybody in the family while they're grieving, that he's observing, he knows that you're hurting, he is praying for you guys, he is there by you, comforting you. And when you start looking for those signs, you'll see it as proof and confirmation, because I
Uh-huh.
feel like people really need
Yeah.
that proof.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's how he'll come through and let you know that he's
Okay.
there.
Thank
People
you
need
very
their proof.
much.
You're so welcome. I'm so sorry for your loss. And if you need anything else or you want to extend the reading, you can always reach me at my contact info's on my website. It's annaolsenintuitive.com and it's at the bottom of the screen. Um,
Okay.
but I thank you so much for calling in and I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Have a wonderful night.
You too.
Thank you. So next I have Raven from Little Rock, Arizona. Raven, how are you tonight? Hi, Raven. We're going to get her back on the line. I think we lost contact with her. Sometimes cell phones drop out. Right now I'm pulling Raven's cards. Hopefully we can get her back. And so far, it's really interesting because I have the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords is depicting somebody in a bind or basically bound into a predicament, or they're not able to see very clearly what's going on. It's kind of hard to see in this light and with the glare, but there's basically a girl in a dress and she has a blindfold on and she has her hands tied behind her back. And she's bound behind basically like a wall of swords. There's a bunch of swords surrounding her. So that's the first card that I have for her. And then we also have the Fool here. So we're working on getting her back on the line. First thing I want to go into with the Eight of Swords is that it has quite a few meanings. So first of all, usually, at least for this reading, what I'm getting, if Raven's listening, is that the Eight of Swords is a card that will depict, it could be many things, but for her reading, I'm feeling like it is indecisiveness. Can't really see which way to go at the moment, needs a little direction, kind of stuck in a situation. Sometimes you see this with people who are stuck in a marriage, financially bound, in debt, or sometimes you'll see this within people who have a loss of power, people in prison or who have been in prison for some time. And when they get out of prison, they're not really able to know how to start over again, or they tend to basically have a whole lot of issue moving on. Well, it looks like we have Tiffany in St. Paul, Minnesota. I guess we lost Raven, unfortunately. How are you doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. How would you like to start your reading tonight? Do you have a question or a topic?
Well, I don't know. Not specifically, I guess. I'm just kind of wondering what my next step is. I'm not sure what I should be doing in general.
Right. Okay. That's interesting because before we got you on the line, we had unfortunately had a dropped caller, but I had been I pulled the Eight of Swords and I had been just talking about indecisiveness for the next person on the line. This is how spirit works. So I got an indecisive and not quite sure what to do next. So did you say this was for career or just in general?
Just in general, in life.
Okay.
I
Yeah, so the Eight of Swords depicts somebody who's blindfold. They're not sure where to step, where to go, what the next move is. They're bound a little bit. So the goal in the reading now would be to get you unstuck. And we have the Fool that came up next. So I was just showing, the card that depicts the Fool, where you're a little more. I see the way I'm feeling this. Coming through is the Fool is depicting being more fly by the seat of your pants, make more sacrifices, kind of like, not be so reserved in your decisions or afraid. So it would be more about really branching out and taking some risks.
Okay.
And that's what I'm getting for your reading. So this would really, I'm feeling more like this is career for you. Is this making sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. And, I feel like there's even someone who could, I'm getting the high priest now with the cards. And I really feel that there is somebody who could guide you into a new career or a career change of some sort, or just even staying where you are, but being able to be promoted.
Okay.
So there would be a man who would be able to assist you in that and give you some counsel on that. And it's just about coming forward and asking, or really considering your options a little more and then making some more moves. And that's what I'm getting there. Do you have any questions so far?
No, not really. Because I was really thinking about going back to school, and like that would change
Mm-hmm.
everything, for like what I do now. Well, I'm laid off right now, but I'll be going back to work soon, hopefully. Um, but I've been tossing the idea of going back to school around, and I just maybe I should just
Right.
take that chance. Cause
Yeah, that's what I was getting with the counsel from this person. I'm getting that very well could have been, education, continuing your education, going forward, in a new area of your career or a new career altogether. So that would absolutely fit into what this is saying here. And so then the next option would just be, okay, what would you go into? How long would you be able to go to school? And if you wanted to further your education, what major would you go into? So I'm really feeling like you're drawn towards the life sciences and serving people, caring for people.
yeah,
Do you have experience in
yeah.
that now?
I'm sorry. What?
Do you have experience in that right now?
Well, I did a lot of customer service and stuff like that, and I have a couple close friends that do have some nice nonprofits that serve the community. So, a little bit.
Yeah, I really think that you could go into something that serves others, takes care of people who need, a little extra help, or, like maybe even like rehabilitating people in some way.
Okay.
Yeah. And, it's interesting because I'm also kind of getting a little bit of your relationship. I feel a lot of indecisiveness, like you're just not sure where to go next.
Yeah.
So there's relationship, and then I even see location. Were you thinking about moving?
No, actually. Um,
Okay, because I feel that might be an option that would help you right now to relocate.
that actually makes sense. Yeah, I wasn't thinking about it, but I mean, it does make sense.
Yeah, and that's why we do this. We kind of bring up things that will, really help you to start thinking a little more along the lines of the right path. And here we go a little bit more with the taking a risk, and and moving a little bit bigger moves, where it's really going
Yep.
to make a difference in your life. Yeah. So that's the main
Yep.
focus, I think, for your reading today, is just, really doing things that are a little more risky, little scary at first, a lot more work at first, but they're going to yield a big return once you get there.
Okay. Yeah, and I've been
So
real cautious as of lately, so I should probably step out of my little comfort zone.
that's right. Yeah. Stepping out of that comfort zone makes the biggest moves. And then you have a new comfort zone where you're so much happier.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
really, that's what I want to see you do now. I'm just going to ask you a kind of a personal question, and I'm sorry if it's too personal, but it's coming up in the
Yep.
reading, and that is, um, have you ever had like an addiction issue or anything like with alcohol or anything like that you've dealt with?
Um, my dad was an alcoholic, and I've been drinking a lot more lately.
Hmm.
Um, so I guess that would kind of make some sense. I've been drinking more than I usually do, for sure.
Okay. Now, with no judgment totally aside, I'm just seeing that that's basically something that's going to sort of stop you from making more progress. And
Okay.
it's kind of, it's just kind of what people do when they're bored or they're just like, what do I do next? And they kind of start resorting to those habits to like, just it's sort of like a way to pass the time, and it's a way to people socialize. But I'm seeing for you especially that can really stop your progress, and that it's probably better to scale back to like maybe close to zero alcohol.
Okay.
For you. Yeah. And that's just what Spirit's telling me, because they love you, and all your spirit guides, your ancestors, all the angels, they love you, and what they want to see for you is the best possible outcome. And I see that they're holding up like a big old chest of gold. They're basically saying there's all of this stuff here for you as long as you just know you're worth it and that it's here for you. It's always been here for you. We just need you to know that you're worthy of it, you're capable of it, and it's absolutely possible, and it's here waiting for you. And it's like they're waiting for you, where there's all this money and opportunity and a lot more happiness.
All right.
Yeah.
That's
what Spirit wants you to know. Yeah, this is all good stuff. So I'm just out of time. Thank you so much for calling in. I really hope that you have a great night. And you can always reach me, AnnaOlsenIntuitive.com, if you'd like to continue. So I hope you have a great night. And if you need anything else, let me know.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Hey, you're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye. So tonight, it's interesting because I didn't know I was going to get a call to do a medium reading. And we had, this really emotional medium reading for a grandmother who had lost her grandson, who was also very close to her, who she raised, which is like a son. And, I just love how Spirit works. Spirit can tell anybody in their intuition what's happening, what's going to be the next step. And I just urge everybody to tap into that. You can pray and like figure out or meditate, however you do it, how you best to kind of really tap into your own intuition, use your own discernment to move forward. So again, AnnaOlsenIntuitive.com is my website. I'd love for you to reach me if you'd like more information. I'm also on Facebook at Anna Olsen Intuitive. Your best bet is my website, but I do check both. So thank you so much for watching. I will see you next week. I'm here every week, Thursdays, 6:30 Pacific Standard Time and 9:30 Eastern Standard Time here on A1R. I'm Anna Olsen with Insights into Consciousness. And I thank you so much, and I will see you later.